What is up guys, it's Simon from PianoPig, and in this video I'm going to take you through a really cool progression and show you how it could be approached from 5 different levels of difficulty. And I'm hoping this is going to kind of clear up some of that confusion that people often have around developing tasteful chord progressions, and even give you a kind of roadmap and plan as to what you would need to practice in order to turn a basic chord progression into something really cool. And if you enjoy this video and want to learn more from me, then definitely make sure to go and check out the PianoPig Academy, which is my online platform where I teach everything I know in a very structured and organized manner, with the aim of getting you to become the best player you can possibly be in the most efficient way possible. If you want to find out more, then head over to pianopig.com, but that's enough of me rambling for now. Let's get on with the video. So here is our progression. This is what I'm going to be playing. I'm going to start super simple and go through each level getting more and more complex. Level 1 is simply going to be using triads. We would literally play this as root form with triads. So A flat major, F minor, A flat major, G major, C minor. Super simple, nothing to it really, and maybe within this you could maybe introduce some inversions as well. Doesn't add much, but it's something. Now that is super simple. We've all got to start somewhere, right? But moving on to level 2, I think this is where you would then introduce some 7 chords. So we could play an A flat major 7 to an F minor 7, back to A flat major 7, G dominant 7 to C minor 7. So that jump up to C minor 7 didn't really sound great, so let's play around with some inversions here and see if that sounds a little bit better. It's okay, but there's definitely some improvements that could be made. For level 3, we're going to start extending the chords a bit more. We're not just going to have 7th chords, we might have some 9ths in there, maybe even 11ths. We're going to be a lot more free and open with the extensions of each chord. So for our first chord, we could play something like this. A flat major 9. And I'm playing the 7 in the left hand as well. So we're now starting to think a little bit more about our voicings. To our next chord, we could play F minor 9. And then back to our A flat major, maybe we could change the inversion. So and then for our G chord, we could also add the 9, and we could even spice things up by adding the flat 9. And then for our last chord, maybe we could play a C minor 11. Let's see what that sounds like if we put it all together. Much better. So level 3 is all about extending those chords and starting to think a little bit more about the voicings and how they fit together. Moving on to level 4, we're now going to think about really working on our voicings, our voice leading, and adding a bit more texture to the whole progression. So for our first chord, maybe we could play something like this. This is a really nice voicing for major chords. A flat major 13. And then we could play something like this for our next chord. So this is kind of like a Kenny Barron voicing, except I'm adding the 11th in there as well. And then more importantly, we're now kind of introducing that texture. So rather than just going, I'm not playing all the notes at once, I'm spreading them out. So we've got, and then maybe for our next A flat major chord, we could go, and I'm kind of spreading it as well. I'm not just playing that, I'm playing, same chord as we used last time, the G7 flat 9. Same chord as last time. But there are some key differences. So I'm spreading these voicings just to add some more texture. And also I'm adding this melody note to make good voice leading. And then in that C minor, I'm also adding a little inflection. So level 4 altogether. So level 4 was all about creating much nicer voicings and adding some texture to the whole thing. Finally, we have level 5. This is all about thinking a lot more about the chords, adding in some chord substitutions, adding in some passing chords, and also just adding some general sort of flourishes throughout, some melodies, making sure the voice leading is really, really nice. Let's see how that might sound. So what was I doing there? I was thinking a lot more about voicing, voice leading. I had a couple of chord substitutions, I had a couple of passing chords, and I had some little flourishes here and there. So I started off with a little pickup line, and then came down to this F minor. But I'm really thinking about voice leading, you know, I've got this melody on the top. And then I think I had some kind of flourish leading up to... And what I did for the next 3 chords is I had a cover note. I had this G on the top, which really holds everything together. And I also changed the G to a G altered with this sharp 5. But we could have done something like... and then we resolved to the C minor. And then I think I played some passing chords to get us back to the A flat major. Something like this. So these are sort of Barry Harris voicings in drop 2 form. And then I think I had something up here, something like... So I'm really thinking about including passing chords and flourishes into these voicings. I think I then had some kind of lick over the G altered later on. And then I had a chord substitution, where instead of going to C minor, I went to C major. So at the end of this very arbitrary 5 levels of difficulty, you're going to be thinking a lot more about passing chords, chord substitutions, voicings, voice leading. You're really going to be thinking about the nitty-gritty. And it sounds very different from how we started with those triads. So there you have it, 5 levels of difficulty over 1 chord progression. And hopefully that'll help you to show you and give you some kind of pathway as to what you need to be practicing in order to turn a relatively simple chord progression into something that sounds really cool. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.